Hello, people in the future. And you're watching this recording. We are doing a review in the server, like backend, and to see what is the backend and doing some stuff. All right. So hope you're enjoying. Let's continue, guys. I'm gonna go to your. I think I cloned your repository. It's messy, I know. Which one was it? Your repository.
Backend live coding.
Do you see it?
Yeah, yes.
Fantastic. Thank you. I was looking for, yeah, exactly, that is the one. Let's create so the same way that is you do, so first the date and so on. So today is 2nd of June 2025. Let's have a review. All right, set into 2nd of June. So let me just create just some notes. So when I start like coding, but for now I just want to go through some theory stuff and so on to see, like, to talk to each other about that. But when I coding, please, I highly recommend that you just code along with me, because you get errors and the errors can help us. Okay, let's talk about, I always, at the beginning of every session, I have some notes that we're gonna go. So before we go to any actual coding, I always try to explain the theory, what we're gonna do, and what is it the useful in the, why we need that in the real life, and what they mean. So back in survey, we're gonna talk about that. I don't know which day you are, but I'm gonna take it as a
sorry, it should be the second day.
the second day.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Because you haven't learned about models, routes, and these things, correct? Like schema.
What did you say again?
Did you learn so far in the backend like a schema, model, and these things? Routes?
We did that with the guy who the teacher was teaching us the last week.
Ah, okay, I see. So better we start everything from scratch. It's all good. Let's have just a bit review of, thank you, Okila. I'm going to ask you some bunch of fundamental questions. When the frontend makes a request, what does that mean? So when I say making a request, what does it mean? Can anyone explain that? Yes. Lutfi?
Yeah, I think it sends or requests data from the backup from the server.
Mm-hmm. You're close to that, but not particularly. Yeah. Savin.
Maybe like if there's a form and I click on search button or something and I want to access the backend, So that is
Exactly.
a request.
Exactly. Let me draw you something. But before I draw you something, when I say making requests, this could be writing an address in your browser, like you write something, like searching for something, as Savin said. Or how do you make a request in your coding? You've learned, I think, with fetch. So you can make a request with fetch to a link to get something. Okay? Can anyone explain what happens when you like make a request? What is the process? Like, if I want to say the request and response cycle, can anyone explain what is that? Because when you do a fetch request, do you know what is a fetch request? Tell me, someone. What is a fetch request? Have you seen fetch before? The fetch function? Yeah. Mickey, what does it do, the fetch?
We get some data from the address that we are linking. It links.
Fantastic. So getting some data or whatever, it's not just only getting, we can save some data or whatever, we're going to learn that anyway, but it's a request to do something. Yeah. Let's talk about this cycle. That's I think you need to know the fundamentals of what happens when you make a fetch request or this is your front end. The front end could be your React, your I don't know, your React application, your index HTML or whatever. And you, as an owner of this front end, you're building something beautiful. You're gonna make a request. Let's say this is Amazon front end. Let me go to Amazon. Well, let's go to something else. So this is the front end. Behind the scenes, there will be lots of requests happening. This request, I'm going to show you what are they soon. So this is the front end of asos.com, this website. And you as a user, you come to that website. As soon as you come to that website, there is the server, the backend, I don't know, whatever you want to call that. So the backend or the server, imagine it as a person sitting behind the scenes somewhere in the world and waiting for requests. So when I say making a request, it means the front end makes a request. Hey, server, can you give me the most selling t-shirts that you have, like the top 10, I don't know, t-shirts? The server receives this request from who? From the front end of ASOS and says, okay, let me find it in my database. Let's say in the database somewhere here in the cloud, it's going to go there and find, give me the 10 top selling t-shirts. This will be going back from the database to your server, and the server grabs that, sends you back the response. So the response comes here and it will print the 10 t-shirts, the most top sell t-shirts here. Or what happens when someone clicks on the favorites? For example, you have a favorites of here. There is a favorite. When I click on this, what happens here? Yeah. So I don't have any now, but when you click on the favorites, behind the scenes says this request goes to the backend. Oh, server, someone is asking for favorites. Can you please give me the favorites of this person? And the server checks, so security stuff, who is this guy and so on. For example, it knows, oh, it's Jay, let me find out. This stuff you're gonna learn. Okay, we're gonna do this. But I'm just explaining you what is the procedure is doing. So the request goes, give me the favorites of Jay. It's gonna check to the database, oh, Jay has 3 t-shirts, 1 trouser and so on. These are the favorites lists. Take it back. And this take it back or send it back is the response with the favorites post or favorites t-shirts. It comes to the front end and takes it and prints it on the, like your front end, and the user can see that. This is the procedure of making requests to the backend, to the server. So server is like kind of a system, or I don't know, a person that is waiting there. Just imagine it like a person waiting there and just waiting for some request. Hey, give me that. As it says, let me check. Okay, take it. That's the response. That's actually the backend. Is that clear what I'm telling? Do you have any question? Is it clear actually? All right. If you have any question, let me know. So this is, so when you make a request like a fetch, that's exactly happening behind the scene. Or when I search, let's say t-shirts. Let me show you something. So when you inspect, the network tab here will be your best friend in the near future. We're going to talk about that. So are you familiar with this tab so far? Great. This tab is making requests. You can see this website is making requests to this. Let's say it's a post request and it's making a request to, let's see, the payload, the preview, the response. Okay, it's some binary option, doesn't matter. A bunch of requests goes, but the user now search for a t-shirt. As soon as I do this, you can see a lot of requests goes to get some t-shirts. Somewhere here, there will be my search. See, this is what I've searched. And when you check that, you see the method is a get request. How many methods we have? We have get, we have post. Yeah. So this get request, where did it go? I lost it. My t-shirts. But anyway, it makes a lot of requests, let's say, to get this picture. See? Get. And it could be getting some JSON. Let me find if I just missed it. I was clicking on that. Let me search again. Bang. So it's getting a picture. But anyway, this, whatever you put here as a search, it makes a fetch request. All of them are a fetch request behind the scene that the developer, they did. They take your query, whatever you search, they put it into a fetch request, send it the request to the backend of the ASUS. They say, hey, the user wants t-shirts, give me the t-shirts. The backend, what it does, it goes to their database, finds all the, I don't know, related t-shirts and sends back the response. This is the response that you can see you receive, these pictures. And as soon as they come here, they take it and print it on the, actually here that the user can see. This is what is happening behind the scene. All right, you can see all of these pictures. These are the pictures coming from the backend. So that's the cycle of, so to say, to make it a simple request and response. Visual Studio Go. Let me put this here. All right. So based on this, the backend is the server that takes in a request and sends back a response. All right. Can you tell me what is a server now? Or the server can refer to what exactly? Whatever comes to your mind, it's all good. Let's just have more interaction.
It's related to data.
Roster.
Is related to data, or Osama, what did you say?
Roster. Server host. Websites or dealing with the data which
Yeah.
send it.
Dealing with the data, that's a good thing. A server actually can be a computer that runs some softwares. It could be a specific software that handles request connections, request that is coming. So it could be anything. We will focus on the software actually, what we're going to learn. We will specially focus on HTTP server softwares. So the HTTP server softwares are those servers that receive HTTP requests. What is an HTTP request? A GET request, a POST request. Are you familiar with these things so far? So HTTP requests are the requests that they go through web or browsers. So we are web developers. Whatever request goes to the backend through browsers, so to say, we call them HTTP like requests. All right. So to let you know, unfortunately, servers, they don't have any user interface. Like you don't see any graphical user interface. It's just all text. What we do is just backend all text. All right. It starts and then sits there and waits for request. As a drawing I showed you. So the server is running here somewhere in the cloud or anywhere and just waiting. If a request comes, handles that, sends back response. If something is wrong, it says, oh no, I don't allow you. For example, let's say we're going to talk about this in the security day when we go. The user tries to log in to the website and something is wrong, either the email or password or whatever. Server here is going to check everything carefully. If something is suspicious or wrong, it's going to respond back an error, say, oops, you're not allowed to log in, something is wrong or whatever. Yeah, this is actually this why we need server, because the server doing the actual job actually. There is a different servers even if you check in your Ubuntu systems. So these are the servers actually running on the background. You can see it says running, exited. Those that written exited is means the server is not running in the background. If you check these servers in my computer, you will see, for example, Bluetooth. The Bluetooth service that I have in the top here, it's on. You can see that it's running. So it's active. Or there are some other stuff. This is for updating. It's running. So if there is an update, it's going to update that. There is a keyboard, I don't know, setup layout or whatever. It's about related keyboard or whatever. So I don't know all of them, but some of them. Yeah, these are actually servers running behind the scenes in the background. And if something comes up, for example, imagine Bluetooth, if a request is coming to connect to the Bluetooth, this is handling that, or says, oh, you want to connect to this phone, then let me do some stuff and let you. You know what I mean? That's exactly what you do with your web server, or this ASUS website, what it does. Yeah, this server is waiting for the request to handling some request. All right, so let's continue. So some servers start automatically and run in the background. You see, for example, the Bluetooth thingy and so on. And as we saw, your computer actually has a bunch of services running all the time. And some servers, just like any other program, you run actually. So you have to run it, which means, for example, so far you had a node server.js or nodemon server.js, something like that you were running to run your server. If so far you did, I don't know if you did it already or not. So the role of a server is to handle things that the front end can't. For example, data storage. If you want to save some data, let's say user information, you want to save some user information in the database, you want to save some, I don't know, some stuff. The front end cannot do that. You need server for that. Or authentication the user. You want to know that who is this user? Is it registered or not? Or the login credential, is it correct or not? This authentication, the front end cannot do that. Who can say why the front end cannot do that and we need a server for that? And sometimes even a front end could do something, it's too slow. Okay, so imagine that a product search could have all of products as an array of objects. What does that mean? For example, if someone, so let's go back to ASOS. What do you think this website ASOS, how many products they have? Is it 100? Is it 200 products totally, or what? Definitely it's more than that. It could be thousands of products. And if with one request, if the front end want to get all of these 10,000 products and to have it somewhere in a state or in a variable, then what you usually do is like then searching that array is just product.filter. For example, you have a lot of like 10,000 of products, and then you want t-shirts, you have to go to all the products and filter only t-shirts in the front end. But this is bad because if the array is maybe thousands or millions of products, it will be too slow and impossible even to look through it or filter it and so on. So the front end can't check. So for the front end, we cannot do that. So to having all of the products, that's why we have all the products in the backend in the database, and we say the backend, hey, give me only 10 t-shirts, give me 20 t-shirts, because in the website you see this pagination. Page 1, you have 10 products. Page 2, then the next 10 products. That's the reason, because you cannot have all of the products coming and now showing whatever you want. That's impossible. Your app is going to crash or very slow. Yeah. So that's why we need backend for that. And also the front end cannot check the password is correct or not. It would have to check using data it already has. So it's not effective to try to hide the correct password in the front.js, because imagine I, as a user with email J and with the password 123, I register to your website. and later tomorrow I want to log in. How front end knows that what is my password? You have to save it somewhere in the front end. So Jay has this and this. If you want to do everything in the front end, then you have to, when I register, you have to take my password, my email, save it somewhere in the front end, and later if I come back to log in, somehow you say, oh. But it's so dangerous. You don't want to save the password of the users or any, I don't know, related that is very security stuff in the front end, because they will be very easily stolen. So you don't want to do that. Because of that, then we need a backend. No one can access to the backend. No one. So that's safe, that you can save these passwords stuff in the backend or in the database. The backend can check actually very nicely who is this user. Very like the high security. And it's trivial to just view source and see the correct password, because it's so easy. If you save it into the somewhere into your code with the inspect, I can just see the source of your code in the front end. Oh, Jay has this 123 password. Then let's log in. That's really easy to do though. So you don't want this. You need your backend. That's why we need the backend. The reasons that I'm explaining these things, that you need to know the basics, like what is the backend, why you need this. So if the source has, because if your front end has something like this, if the user equal to admin, and the password is, for example, that, then let them in, yeah, or let them log in. This is in the code of your front end is easily to inspect that and find that out easily. So we don't want that to put it in the front end. Everything goes to the back end. All right. Is there any questions so far? Is it clear? Is it interesting, these things, or I don't know, it's too much? All right. Great. So to sum it up, we create a server that sitting there and waiting for request. That's what actually we want to do during this backend module. Creating server, waiting there, and if the request is coming, handling that, sending back a response. That's what we're gonna do in this course, all right? So tell me, let's start together. I wanna start from scratch. How can I create a server? What do I need, and what is the first step I need to do always? Someone help me. Let's say you have an exercise, you wanna create a server. How do you do this? Have you done it so far or no? Yeah? So tell me, what is the first step? Yes. Osama.
Yeah, first we have to use nvm initial-1.
Fantastic. The first thing is our package JSON, because we want to install some stuff there and we need this package JSON. And as Osama said, we need to say npm init, which means initializing that, and dash -y means don't ask me questions. I don't care, just give me the package JSON. And please code along with me. And I highly recommend, if you get error, that's the part we're going to learn. Just share your screen, stop me, and so on. Great. This is created. Fantastic. What is the next step, Osama, or anyone else?
Yes, the next step to install Express, npm install Express.
Express. Fantastic. What is it for, Express? My computer is very slow. So, a server is a command line program command line program means like you're working only with commands, all right? So listening for a request and response that we had already so far, talking about that a lot, you can create a server with a pure Node.js. So this is Node. What we do here is Node. If you type Node here, you can see you can do stuff here. I don't know, const a equals 2. So creating variable, what is a? It's 2. This is the Node environment, and this Node actually you can do with pure Node creating servers. But you know, it will be so difficult, like, because with pure Node creating server, for example, if you have to code that much of lines of code to just prepare a server. But today we're gonna do this with Express, or not today, always, because Express is created for the Node. It's a package that helps things easier, so to say, to make a server with just 2-3 lines and a lot of more stuff that it's gonna help us to build I don't know, a lot of amazing stuff. So Express is good thing. All right, we use Express to create our node, to create our server. All right, this is the first thing that we need to do. And by the way, this is so rare that you do this server thingy with pure node. No one does that actually. Everyone uses Express. All right. So tell me, what should I do? The Express is installed. How do I know if Express is installed? How can I check that?
From the file package.json.
In the package.json dependencies, you can see the Express is installed with this version. Fantastic. The next step, I want to create my server. So I'm going to create a server.js file. What should I do here? When I say creating a server, or when I say a server, imagine or picture the drawing that I had for you. This part. This is the server. We want to create this and running it in the background and waiting for requests. That's what we want to do. All right? How can I do that?
Import Express.
Fantastic. Importing Express from Express. Because what we installed, we need to import it. The next step is we're gonna run guys, during the coding I have a lot of typos. If you see a typo, just you can let me know. Yeah. So after that, we need to initialize our server. That's coming from the documentation. Yeah. So this will be just repetitive stuff. It's always like that. They say you can create an app as a variable and run the Express. That's a function. That's it. Yeah. And then all the servers are listening to some ports. Go back. So what does that mean? How can I clear it? Let me refresh. So in your computer, you've seen there was lots of server running. Imagine this is your computer, and in the background you saw the Bluetooth was running. I don't know, another thing was running. Your keyboard layout was running. Your updating server was running, and you are now creating a server with Express for yourself. And to be able, every one of them, they have some ports. They are some little holes in your computer. The Bluetooth, for example, using this port is like a gateway. It's like a door. When a request come, for example, my phone want to connect to the Bluetooth, it should exactly go through this port. Let's say this port is 7894. Let's just imagine that's in my computer. This gate with this number or with this door, let's say, has this port. If a phone want to connect to the Bluetooth of the computer, it needs to go through this door, and then the server of the Bluetooth is going to check that and connect. Yeah, it cannot go through this port, which is, for example, let's say your Wi-Fi server, for example, running. Let's say Wi-Fi server is running on the 7000. Yeah, if the Bluetooth want to connect, it cannot go through this door because this door is specific for this server, and this server only handling to connect to the Wi-Fi, nothing else. So it will be blocked actually from here. That's exactly your server is going to run. Your server, you're creating it with Express. It need to run to a port. You need to say, in my computer, please have a port or a gateway or a door somewhere. Because when all the request is coming, for example, get the users, get the products, it should go through this door. When I say door, I'm going to change it to port, but imagine it as a door or gateway. So that means port. Through this port, let's say we want to use a port of, let's say, 6000. When a request is going, the request exactly specify, hey, I want to go through the port of 6000. This means it goes through this, and now our Express is sitting there. So, oh, there is a request coming. You want the products? Let me check it. Sends you back the response. It goes to the same port and goes out and goes for the, I don't know, sending the response. Does that make sense, what I'm telling? The port. Great. So this means you already created the server, but you're not still enabled to running that because you need to give it a port, or the server needs to listen a port, so to say. This means somewhere in the down there of your server, you can say, hey app, which is my Express, dot listen. You already know it, I know, but it's good to know what you're doing. So the first thing that you need to provide is a port number and a function after that. So a port number, I'm going to choose it now for now, 777. I like the number 7, that's why I chose. You can use any port between, I don't know, which number to which number, but they are 4 digits. All right. And let's have just a function that it's telling us some information if it's connected or not. We just want to console log something. We want to say if successfully connected to the port, our server, or is running our server, we're going to say server is running on http://localhost and the port that we are using. Let me use a dynamic port. I don't have this variable. I'm going to create it, this port. So const, I'm going to create the variable for that instead of just putting it there. Const, the port that I want to use is, let's say, 777. And I'm going to change this with this. All right. Makes sense what we're doing? Great. How can I run this now? Because that's it. That's with that bunch of 3-4 line of code, you running a server now in your computer on this port 777. How can I run it now?
npm run dev.
npm run dev, npm start, which one?
npm start.
npm start, let's see. Bang! I didn't expect it that it works. I expected error. What? Did you get error?
Yes, because in the package.json we have to modify main to server to JS.
Exactly. But there is a very strange thing here. It's telling me anyway, the module, the type must be module. We know that. We need to change the type module. That's fantastically correct. You know why, guys? To change this. Who knows why?
So we can import.
Fantastic. Because all the times this type was by default is CommonJS. CommonJS was an old time, and the old time, if you wanted to import something, it wasn't like this. It was like const, let's say something you want to import express, let's say express equals to, we would use require, and then we would say express. This is the old time. And if you see this, if you write a prompt in ChatGPT, it gives you like this. It's data. You don't want to use importing in this way. All right? We want to import module way, which is a new fashion way and a fantastic way. And to be able to use this import and from, that's why we need to change the type of the our application from CommonJS to module. This helps us to use the new syntax actually, and then we get rid of all of this old school stuff. All right? And the next thing is, when I say npm start, it automatically chose to run my server.js. It wasn't like this. It should have thrown error, and it's so smart now. I don't know if they updated the Node.js or something, because npm start means it goes to my script and finds if I have a start, but I don't have, because here I have to have start, and then I need to say, when I say npm start, it comes here npm start, chooses this, and whatever I set here, it's going to run my code. Let me see now, do I get an error now? Because npm start now, yeah, exactly. You can see that when I run npm start now, what it does, it goes there and runs this code. You can see echo error notice specified in that. This is no meaning. It's just not running anything, and it says error. I don't know what you mean when you say npm start. I don't know what does that mean. So we want to say, hey, when I say npm start, please run my server.js. So it's usually with Node server.js, but we want to use node-mon because it's restarting it automatically. Do you know node-mon? Some yes, some no. So let's just test it with Node server.js. This means, hey Node, please run my server.js when I say npm start. You can do this cat, for example, whatever you want. And I can say npm run cat. So it's gonna start this, so to say, command and running my server. Fantastic. It's running on 7.7. You can use whatever you want. But basically, it's usually like start, or if you are developing, it's dev, but doesn't matter, but usually is a start. And if it's start, we can say easily npm start. It's going to run that command. All right. So my server is running on 7.7.7, but this node, whatever I do changes, let's say I want to console log a hi. It's over here. When I save, you can see it's not showing me, because server is just running with your previous code. Now I changed it, it's updated. And what I need to do, if I want to see this console log hi, I have to stop the server and again run it. So every time I change something, I have to stop it and run it. You can see now the high is here. Because we do a lot of changes, we don't want to just stop and then run server, stop and run server, because it takes our time. That's why there is a tool created for us. We can install that. It's gonna automatically restart our server without stopping that, and with all the new changes. That's the node mode. If you don't have it, please try to install npm I node mode. This thing. My computer is very slow today. I don't know, maybe I've shared the screen. That's why. Okay, if you install that, you can see it in your package.json somewhere here. And now we can use this node mode. Now when we want to say, when npm starts, instead of node, use node mode, please. Because node mode is doing the job for us without restarting the server. So if I, no, please. If I start npm start again, you can see, you will see some bunch of, I don't know, command or comments. It says it's watching the path, and dot means everything. It says I'm watching all the files you have. Whatever you change, I'm gonna automatically restart it. Let's test it. So if I say, instead of hi, I say hi E08. So if I save, you will see here, automatically restarting with my all new changes. So that's good. Then I don't have to stop and run server, stop and run server. Make sense? Is it running for you? Great. How about others? Are you doing it with me or not? All right. So our server is running now behind the scene. It's just not doing anything. It has no ability to handle requests that is coming or whatever. We need to build on top of that now. So for handling the requests, you need to create some routes. Do you know what is a route? Great. Can you help me? How can I create a route? All right, let's do test something. My server is running fantastic. I'm gonna get rid of this console log. I'm gonna push all of this thing down because this will be at the end of my server. Somewhere here, we do a lot of stuff. And let's say we wanna build, we wanna connect to database also, because you already did it. And after connecting to the database, we want to learn how to save a user in the database, how to get the users in the database. That's what we want to do. And we have a lot to code. But before that, we're going to just test something, that how these things works. Routes means your server needs to know a specific request. Let's say a request is coming to get users. Then that's a specific route we need to create. All the request comes here, and then the user understand that, oh, there is a request coming, want all the users, let me check. That's the response. Or there is another route specially for the products. They are different. there is a request is coming, hey, someone wants the product. Then it goes exactly to that route that is responsible for getting the products, find the products, send it back. So all of these different people you can name, which they are routes, you can name them people, they have different jobs. Someone is responsible for getting the users, someone is responsible for getting the products. Yeah. So let's just start simple with the users. It's usually like you're going to start app.use. So app.use, what does it mean? When you say app, have you done this app.get so far? Have you done this in your previous days? Yeah? So what is the difference when you say app.get and app.use? Who can say what is the difference between them? That's good. See some reaction. Because when you say app.get, we have another stuff, app.post, for example. Yeah, it's for creating. We're going to learn that also. I think you already learned it, but as a review. The difference is that get is specially for getting, if a request is coming, the method is a get. But when you say app.use, it means for every kind of method that is coming. I don't care if it's a get, post, delete, put. Any request that is coming, it's gonna handle that. All right. So we want, because I don't want to do it here. We want to do it in a real structure of the folder for creating the routes. We still don't have it, but we're going to create that. When you say app.use, just take it as app.use means for every request that is coming, no matter what method. Like method like get, post, delete, and whatever. Okay, so for every request that is coming, you can now define a route. Like you can say like this. You can structure whatever you want. For example, you can say /users. Yeah. Then it means if a request is coming, it need to go through the address exactly should be this one. It's a get request to the, when you put it in the fetch request. Yeah. It should be exactly go to this server, which means HTTP localhost this port. Let's say a request is coming. In the fetch request, there should be something like this. This is the address of your server is running in this port. This means request go there. Okay, it goes to this server. Now it's you have different bunch of routes. One route for users, one route for products, one route for login, one route for favorites. So a lot of different routes will be there. And when this request is coming, in the URL that you put it into the fetch, this request needs to specify to which route it want to go. What is it related to? So that's why here, after that, you say go to the route users. When you do this, then this means it goes to this one. And this one is going to handle whatever we want to do later now. So the request goes inside of this, and then someone, like a function, a user router, let's say user router, we don't have that. We want to create this user router. Yeah. This user router is going to handle that. Oh, there is a request is coming to get all the users. It goes there and then find that and send it back. All right. Usually for the backend, I create like this all of my routes. I use API at the beginning it has a reason that I'm gonna tell you in the future. Like, not now, I cannot explain it now because you don't understand it. But usually I do this, API slash users, API slash products, whatever, yeah? So that's how preparing your route, but still we don't have this. It's just for receiving that. Hey, whatever comes that has this address inside of the URL request, whatever request that is coming, it has localhost 777 slash, now it should be slash API slash users, so it matches this one, yeah? As soon as they match, it's gonna send requests inside of this. And inside of that, we're gonna write the function for that to handle these things. Okay, we don't have it still. So for creating routes, usually the folder structure is like this. You have a folder of routes and all of the routes goes there. All right, so all the routes will be here. The first route that we want to create is the user route. Usually I name it like related to that thing. If it's a user, I say user router. If it's a product, I say product router. If it's animal, I say animal router, whatever. I define it here, user router. So the same thing. I'm going to create the file as like user router.js. All right. So if you save, you definitely get this error because we don't have that yet. It says user router not defined. This means in the server.js, we are using this. In the line server.js line 8, server.js line 8, user router is not defined. That's the error. Yeah, we don't have it yet. We need to create that, import it, and then everything will be fine. So here, you can define all the routes for getting the user, for saving a user in the database, or deleting a user in the database, or updating a user in the database. All of these routes, we're going to define it here. Have you learned how to create a route? Great. Help me to do it. Why does someone help me to do it? Yes, Jakub?
But first you need to import Express, I guess.
Fantastic. Right.
And you need to make a variable called router.
I'm gonna name it user router related to that, but you can name it router only. Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to be very specific. That's a user router. Then I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
And then express.router.
Fantastic. That's a function with R capital. Don't ask me why it's with R capital. I don't know why they did it, but that's how it is. All right. What it does, it's creating the ability of creating routes. Yeah. So now we can create whatever we want. The user router is our base stuff that we want to do stuff with that. So this user router variable, thank you, Jakob. The first thing that I want to, so when you put a dot, there is a lot of bunch of methods you can see. We will use most of them later, or any of them later. We want to use now the get method. Okay, this get. What does it mean? This means when there is a request is coming to localhost /777, that's my server, /API /users, it comes inside of this. And then it depends on the method. The method that is coming, in the request, we can define which method. We can define post method, we can define get method. If it's a get method too, do I have my server somewhere here? Control C stops that. I'm lazy to type, but bang. So if a GET request coming to this /API/users, that exactly comes to this part. That exactly comes to this endpoint. We call this endpoint. So when I say endpoint, get used to it. The endpoint is the destination that the request comes there to be handled by server. So whenever I say create an endpoint that can get all the users, this means you create a route and that is a get method, for example. Yeah, and it should be exactly matching the request that is coming, the URL exactly should match whatever you define. Let's say if it's /API/user, but the method is post, then it doesn't go here because this method is just only get. It's just responsible only for get. All right. So the method is important and the address is important. They should match, and then it comes here. This is an endpoint. Imagine endpoint as a person in your server handling only a GET request that is coming from 777/API/users. That's just, I'm responsible for that. I don't care any other request that is coming. So when it comes to this, when you put just only slash, it means this one, because we define it there. But whatever you put here, let's say all users, then you are adding to the address that. Then this means if the request is coming, it should match this. HTTP local API/users and then that. Then it comes to this endpoint. Because we don't want that, you don't need that. That is enough. This means this one. So when a request comes to this one, it comes to this endpoint, and this endpoint is gonna handle the request. Handling the request means, okay, let me check what is the request and so on, and send you back a response. That's a function. With three things inside. Rec, it's always like that. Rec, which is referring to the request, res referring to the response, and next is for error handling and other stuff that we're going to talk about. I just want to test it. We don't have a database yet. We didn't connect that and so on. I want to create an imaginary users variable, just only a variable. Let's say all users equals to, let's say that's an array of username, Yakub, password, let's say 1, 2, 3, and another one, let's say Mickey, and password will be this one. So let's say this is this variable is our database, MongoDB in the cloud. We don't have still, but let's say imagine is that. There is a request coming to this one, and it wants all the users. So it comes here. This is the endpoint, the request coming, hanging around here in this middle. And this function is gonna handle that. It says, oh, you want all the users? Then let me go to the database. Let's say this is our database. We got all the users. We want to send the response. Sending the response is like, yes, this variable referring to the response. So whenever you want to send a response, you take this one. You don't care about rec, you don't care about that, just this one. This is responsible for just sending a response. So all the responses has status, and I'm going to use 200 successful, let's say dot send. We want to send some information. The information is all the users that we got from the backend, from the database. This is the one. All right. That's the thing actually happening behind the scene. I want to test it. I want to test if everything is working. So before that, you need to export your router because you need to import it in your server.js. So let's export default. What should be exported? This one, user router. Okay, so we created a user router with only one endpoint, and that one endpoint is responsible for getting all the users. Our imaginary database is an array of two things. And what we do is just we take that variable and send it to the front end, or whoever wants that. How can I test this? How can you make the request? Let me just run my server. Go to your server, also import your user router. What I do is just to be a bit lazy, I do this, and then Visual Studio means you mean this user router inside of the routes. I say yes, and make sure at the end of it you have .js. It's a .js file, otherwise you get error. And you run it, everything should be fine. Try to run it, and then we can continue. We will go soon now to break. Before that, we're gonna test something. So is this clear so far? Are you following so far? See, Jakub. I need more reactions. Mickey, okay. If it's running, how do you make requests? Because usually we have front end. Usually we have a browser, we can make a request. But we don't have a browser here. It's just only backend. And how can you test this endpoint with making a request? We don't have a browser, we don't have a React front end, nothing. But I want to test it, it should work if a request is coming. How do you do this request?
We use usually the Thunder client, how it's called, I forgot it. I have it here.
Oh, nice. Is a thing that you are using?
Thunder client, yeah.
Is it an extension or it's a app?
Yes, extension.
Ah, nice. I don't have that.
Okay.
What I use is something else, but you can use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. The only thing that it matters just making a request. Yeah. The extension that I use, it's REST client extension. Let me show you in my extensions. It's a very little tiny extension. That's why I love it, because it's not heavy. If you search REST client, I think it's REST client. Yeah, this one. If you search REST client, you will see this and you can install it. And you can see 5.9 million download. It's highly used. This extension enables us to make requests easily. And to do that, after you install, you can create a file here. You can name it whatever you want. It's about users. I'm gonna name it users. You have to save it with HTTP. So .http. This gives you a file like this. And now here you can write the request. I'm gonna make a request, a GET request to my server. My server is running where? HTTP / local host. It already knows that 777 / API / users. Okay, that's my actually endpoint that I want to make the request. So this is always the base URL of my server, because my server is running in this port, in this address. The rest of it is gonna refer to the routes or the endpoints in my application. The endpoints that I wanna this request go is to the /API user. This means the request comes here from the top, starts, come down. Oh, this one matches. /API/users, and we set app use. App use means I don't care if it's a get post delete. I don't care. As far as the address matches, then send the request inside of this file. This request goes inside of that file. We go to that file and finds out the endpoint that exactly match. Now here the method is important. So the address matched, the address match. The only thing that should match is the get method. So it looked for all the endpoint that I have. This is the one that it matches, the first get. So it's a get, the address matches, then it goes here. Then this person is handling the request. The only thing that it does is just sending a response, taking this and sending the response. Let's test it. So when I make the request, if you install that and if you have this, there is a send request button on the top of it. So when I click on this, I should receive a response. And you can see the response was 200 okay. I received that users, that imaginary users that I had in the variable. That's the cycle of request and response that I draw for you. A request goes exactly to the endpoint. That endpoint grabs that, I don't know, do some operation, sends back the response. It could be an error. Says, hey, I don't have a user, or it's wrong, or whatever. But for now, everything is working. Does that make sense? Yes, Mickey.
Sorry to interrupt you. Which was the last step that you did to get the response?
So there is a button here above of this when you created send request. This, when you click on that, if everything you set up correctly, you should receive that. If not, then we can solve it.
Okay, thank you.
Is it working for everyone? Give me some feedback. Is it working? Or are you coding with me?
I was coding till at a point, but I didn't add the users properly. That's why it's not working for me.
It's all good. I'm gonna keep this here that you can see, and also the server next to that if you need, guys, because now we can do a break. That's the two files. Let me pause recording actually. All right, welcome back from the break, and let's share your screen and let's see. All right, let's read error. Look at, guys. So first thing first, I see you have some typos and so on in the line 7. Guys, who can find the problem? Syntactically first is wrong. Fantastic. Now it's solved. Now let's make the request and let's see. Great. Wait. Look at the response. Oh, don't close it. Look at the response. Guys, everyone, I want you to check, because when you do this stuff with the like route endpoints and making the request, you will definitely face 404 not found, and it gives you a response like a HTML. See, the responses look like an HTML. When you see such a thing and the status is 404, that's definitely, bring back the,
Sorry, just a second.
yeah, that's definitely the endpoint that you are making the request, HTTP localhost 77/API/users, it doesn't match to any of endpoints in your server routes, the address doesn't match. It says, hey, you want me to go /API/users and the method is get, but I don't find it. 404. So it could be a typo. Let's go back to your code now and check the server.js and let's see the endpoint, if it's correct or not. I don't see your server.js.
You don't see?
Ah, now I see.
Okay.
So you can see there is a api.use/API/users. Fantastic. This is working and this is perfect. So let's go back to your user router now. And then you have a user router slash.
Oh, what is this?
Yeah, that's the problem. I think this is automatically added of the Visual
Can you
Studio.
mute, please?
Oh, sorry.
No problem. Just the voice is coming back. That's fine.
Yeah, the resized by I think already was like automatically was fulfilled with your typing. You can get rid of that and just write res.
I did.
Okay, now I see, because it has a delay.
Yeah, I don't know why it happened.
Yeah. Now let's test it again. It's a delay for me. So you get again the same. 404.
Yes.
Make it bigger. Oh, it has a delay. I know you did it, but we have to wait. Let's check now the URL. HTTP localhost 777/API/users. Ah, I see. Everything is fine. But look at, guys, the server of Mickey, how it's running. The server of Mickey is running with Node, which means if you changed something, it's not getting updated automatically, like NodeMon we used. You have to stop the server and run it again. If you want to use Node, not NodeMon, every time you have to stop the server and run it again.
Oh. Can you see my code visually?
I don't see.
You don't see? Wait,
It's-
I have to do it again, like before. It's better like this.
Ah, great. Now we get something. That's great. Now go to the error. I want you expand the terminal a bit more and check the error from where it could come. Everyone see that? No, go down. So here, I want you to read the error and tell me from where the problem can come. For reading the error, you start from the top to bottom. And the first thing you see, it says the error cannot find module. This is the message telling you. Cannot find the module, guys. As soon as you see cannot find the module, it means I cannot find the file that you're telling. And which file? It means importing. You're trying to import user router, and the user router has no.js. Did you change it?
Yes, already. So I didn't have it.
Fantastic. In the top line, line 2, there was no .js at the end of it. That was why, hey, you mean .js at the end of it and so on, because the node cannot find that if you don't put .js. In the React, you could do that with JSX. You don't need to put .jsx when you import that. But in the server, be careful, you have to specify. Yeah, let's run it again. Did you already run the server? Because it has delay for me.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, great. Now
Yay!
send the request. It working? Because I
Yes,
see
oh,
still
sorry.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
working now. I highly suggest use node mon because now if you change something, you have to stop the server again.
How we did it? How
Can you show me package JSON? I want to
Yeah,
see.
I edit. I'm not sure if I edit. Yeah.
Let me.
Oh, sorry.
The package JSON. Yeah, you install that, but you haven't used it in the script. In the script line 7, change
Yeah,
the
okay.
test to a start and then node to nodemon.
Jay,
Yeah.
before everyone is installing this global library, Nodemon, like in our class, we've been using the flag from the Node.js, so that's this watch, so we don't have to install this Nodemon globally.
Ah,
That's why nobody was using this Nodemon, just to let you know.
okay, so this means you want to use a node, you mean?
Exactly, Node dash dash watch. So this is like a new
Ah,
flag.
okay, node dash dash watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We don't have to install this Nodemon anymore.
all right, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. So can you show me, do you have it, guys?
Yeah, we've been using it. So if you go Mickey in in the script, start node and then space dash dash watch and then server.js, as we always do. Like
Is
if you
it
start
a
from
new thing in the new
it's
version?
your Nodemon, so we all congratulated, so we don't have to install this Nodemon
That's
anymore.
nice. Yeah,
Fix
that's
that.
nice.
That's the one. Like, so you don't really have to have this global dependency any longer.
That's great. Can you run it? I want to see. I'm so excited to see.
Node1 now npm run test.
npm run test.
Because you gave the command in our test keyword. Yes, now
Great.
it runs like constantly and the server updates automatically.
Oh, fantastic. I didn't know that. So, okay, we can get rid of this nodemon. I'm happy for that. Because I really didn't like nodemon. We have to install extra dependency, and now the node is doing the job. Exactly, node dash dash, the flag watch means, hey, watch every file. If something changes, restart automatically. Great. Let's continue. Mickey, is it clear what you did?
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
So I'm going to stop sharing. Thanks.
You're welcome. Let's go then. Yeah, another one. Shinedu.
Yeah, I'm just getting an error. I'm just lost. I don't know if I can just share my screen.
Yeah, for sure. Let's share your screen.
When I send the request, I'm just getting an error.
Great. Let's see what is it telling. Guys, I want you to read the error. So always when you get error, read it. And you start from the where it's telling reference error. The reference error is the message error. All user is not defined. What is telling you? So it's coming from the user router. Yeah, exactly. In the line 8, it says all, and you see 3 dots under it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of typo. So the all users you have with capital the variable on the top, and this is, yeah, this should solve your problem. Now try to make the request again.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So is it clear about the endpoint? When I'm telling endpoint, it means you have to make the request exactly at that address and at that method exactly. All right? This is for creating. This is for getting the users. All right. Before we more continue, I would like that we connect to the real database, like the MongoDB. and you did it already, right? Okay, let's do it together. Everyone needs a connection string, or the URI or URL to your MongoDB. So this means we need to go to website. If you don't have it, I'm going to show you how to get it. You have to go to mongodb.com. Definitely you have an account. Yes, Mickey.
I'm sorry to interrupt you again. We did the first step, so we installed it with Jamie.
You didn't go to here, to the website?
Yeah, we did that
You
step.
did. And you have the URL to connect to it already?
I think so. Can other classmates?
If you don't have it, let's say it's normal. For example, I don't know, I don't remember the link. I need to get it. Yeah, let's say you have to get it. Always you need to log in. And where is the login button? It's changed. So you have to log in with. There was logging it with GitHub, but now it's with Google.
By the way, Jay, you're not sharing your screen.
I'm not. Sorry. I was showing you. Thank you. Yeah, I went to mongodb.com and I went to login. And I logged in and I have something like this. And you already, I think, set up the cluster or whatever. I think you did already. Oh, I don't have. Why? Where are my clusters? All right. So, if you did this part, you should have here something like a cluster or whatever. If you don't have, like me, I don't know why it's empty. I had a lot of them, maybe in another account. You need to create this. Did you create it already with this part? If you don't have, just let me know. We can do it together. When you log in, you will see something like this in the left side. So you didn't do it. So if you are logged in, please let me know. We can continue together. So if you are logged,
I think we did. We have the Mongo campus.
okay, Mongo campus is locally.
It's locally, okay.
Yeah, here in the cloud. Did you do it?
No, not yet. As far as I remember.
Okay, then let's do it. Please, people, everyone, go to the mongodb.com and try to register and log in. And when you finished, let me know. You should come to a page like this. So when you see this in the left side, cluster, I don't know the meaning if you want to tell you. Cluster means the database and the links and then all of this setup that you need. And for me, it's empty. That's what for you there should be. There is no cluster or so to say database yet. We need to create that. So you need to click on the create. It gives you something like this. And we need a free version. We don't want to pay anything. So the free version gives you 500 megabyte of space, so you can save until 500 megabytes. So that's very enough with all the projects. You can leave the rest as it is, just choose the free version, and that's it. And then what you need to do is create a deployment. So these are the provider AWS or Google Cloud. They are the providers that give you some cloud that you can save into the database. We're going to use AWS, Regine Frankfurt, just leave it. So nothing else. And then create deployment. After that, you will receive a random username and a random password. You can change that. You can change it to whatever you want, the username. So I'm going to use a short form J. And the password you can change whatever you want. Change it because we want to connect to that. It will be easy. I'm going to put 123. And then there is a choose. So far, are you following so far till here? Should I wait? Great. And then choose a connection method. So there is security permission blue. Admin permission. There is an admin permission it wants. Let me see, what is it? So we generated a username and password. You can use this or create your own permission for this project. All right, everything is fine. Create database user. All right, click on the create database user and choose a connection method. All right, it should give you something like this. It gives you a bunch of options that how you want to connect to this database of yours. And we want to connect it with our Visual Studio Code. Actually, all of them are the same. If you open them, it gives you a bunch of a link that is just the same. Yeah. I want to choose. I want to go back. I want to choose the VS Code version. This one. This gives you. We call this connection string. Yeah, this is the link that actually we can use to connect to the database. So I'm going to copy this and save it into my here, to my Visual Studio. And usually it's a very important information. So you want to hide this. Yeah. Okile or Miki, who was first?
Go on, Akila, you were first.
Okay. Jay, I think I missed the stuff because I just created an account with MongoDB.
Yes.
So
we're going to do that again, together.
Yeah, okay.
All right? Great. So, before we go back to the steps, whoever took the link of the MongoDB, that's a sensitive information. Where do we save our sensitive information in our file. In which file it should be? Fantastic, Yaku. .env. This means I'm going to create .env and save it here. I want to give it a name. Let's say DB database URI. And usually we save it as a capital in the .env. You can name it whatever you want, like connection string, DB URI, or whatever they call it, these things, and save it there. And save. So let's go back to the steps. Mickey, in the left side, you have clusters, right? Okile, sorry.
Just really at the very first step, I would say is welcome to Atlas. Let's build something great. So what's your primary goal? Those kind of steps.
Just skip those steps. Let me stop sharing. You can share your screen that we can do it together. Yeah, because I passed that part and I don't remember which was it.
Should I share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let me see.
Kind of really basic, but
It's all good. Is there any skip button or anything that you can do?
I don't really see it. That's the problem.
Okay, then fulfill this. What is your whatever? Just try to fulfill them.
Maybe save this. Okay. Okay, never done that before.
You can give it a JavaScript node exactly.
What's this?
It's with priority. Just choose anything. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can, yeah, you can just.
Oh, this too. Okay, maybe that part is done. Okay.
Nice.
Now,
creating the cluster. Choose the free one in the right side in the top. There is a tree card. And yeah, that's the free one. And then go down and click on the create deployment. So here gives you a username and password. You can change it because it will be much easier for you for now. Change it to whatever you want. So because you have to remember all of this later when you connect. And then the username also, and then click on the create database user.
just a moment. Okay, then create user.
Yes.
Database. Okay, can also save it. Okay.
Okay, choose a connection method. So we need MongoDB for VS Code. Yeah. And then that's the connection string of yours. copy that and save it to a .n file.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. So what we did, guys, we created a database in the MongoDB. MongoDB gives us some cloud space, and we can do this interaction of saving user, getting user, saving products, whatever we want to do, like in a real situation. Yes, Shinedu?
Getting a little bit issues. My verification listed email is not working. I don't know why.
Oh, like for registration.
Yeah.
Let's share your screen. I think you need an email. Maybe you're not logged in your email correctly.
So this one, the link has expired. If I try to send another one, it's not working. Oh, this is the email I got. So when I click on it, I'm getting this message.
Oh, you verified now. You can log in again. Now verify. Or can you go back again? And is there? Can you click on the buttons of login with Google or whatever? Oh no.
It's not working.
So check your inbox, Shinedo. Is that the email that you've used, the DCI email?
Yeah. I have another one now.
Okay, the new one is the previous one. Go back.
Okay.
The new one is the latest one down.
This one?
No. Go to the first one that you go down. The first one. Down. I think this is the.
This one?
Yeah, the new ones. The very down one.
This one?
Yeah. Click on the verify. Yeah. So try to log in now and.
My internet is bad.
The MongoDB is a bit heavy website actually.
Okay.
Great. Click on create and choose the free version. And then create deployment. Yes. This is only for the first time we do. Then for the rest of the time, you just, if you miss your connection string, you come here and take it again. You don't need to do this step anymore. It's just for the first time. So put a password that you remember and also a username. We saw that already. And click on the create database user first. And now choose a connection method. And go down, VS Code, MongoDB VS Code.
Okay.
And that's the link that you want to take. Yeah, exactly. So you can save this in your .env file. So guys, because it's a review day, is it okay that, because I usually don't do this, I usually finish our lecture till 12, and then after that you have your exercises. But because it's a review day, is it okay that after lunch also we continue reviewing this stuff? Or is too much for you? Yeah, how about others? I need answers. All right, great. Because I feel you really need reviews. Otherwise, we can't continue. All right, let me share my screen. All of you have the connection string. Sharing the screen. First of all, in the website, this connect button, after you create cluster and all of these things, when you click on this, always you can see that it gives you this link that you want. All right, when something comes here, when we save something here, you will see like collections, users, we will see how it works. But for now, let's just for now keep it like this. This is our MongoDB connection string. I can connect to my database and you have yours. This is my username, this is my password. Yeah, and this link, after that you can create like special databases. For example, if you here type, I want to type E08, your class review. This is going to create automatically in the cloud database a folder, let's name it E08 review, and whatever I save, it goes there to this folder, or so to say in a correct word, database. You can name whatever you want. And later we can have another folder for another, for example, project or whatever we do. So this E08 review is going to create a folder in the MongoDB cloud, and whatever I save, it goes to that folder, so to say. You can name it whatever you want. The next thing is, so you definitely created a function to connect to the database. You did it with Compass, doesn't matter, it's locally. We now took it in the cloud. It's the same. How can you connect to the database? What you need, like to connect to the MongoDB database? How did you do it? Did you do it at all? I need to know. If you're not, we can do it together. No, great. So for connecting to this database, we need a function, like to be able to connect to that. And that function, or whatever we want to call it, it's usually we put it in another folder, we name it that folder. So I'm also telling you the folder structure that you should follow, we can follow. Sometimes you see the lib as a library folder and there are a bunch of functions there. Sometimes you see utils, like utilities or whatever. So you see different names, either utils or lib. I'm going to use the utils for that. And inside of that, there are a bunch of functions we're going to add when we go further. The first thing that you do is connecting to the database. The function comes here. You want to put it there, hide it somewhere. Yeah, we don't need to see it every time. I'm going to name it connect, or you can name it, yeah, let's name it connect db .js. Let's name it like this. So here we need to connect to the database. We need to import something. Have you learned Mongoose? Have you had the package Mongoose?
Yes.
Yes, great. The package Mongoose is the one that is helping us to connect to the database. That's a package. Unfortunately, it's not inside of the node because it's related to MongoDB. This means we have to install the package first. I'm gonna stop my terminal. I'm gonna type npm install mongoose. This is the package that is responsible. One of the things that we do with that is connecting to the database. Great. Mongoose is installed, and if you install that inside of the ConnectDB, we have to import it. Import mongoose from mongoose. So the next thing is a function we want to, when we call it, it's going to connect to the database. I'm going to name the function connect db or connect to db or whatever you want to call it, equals to. So we need try and catch always. When you are doing anything related to requests, response, fetch request, or whatever, any async function, you need to use try and catch, because you want to make sure if any error is happening, you are able to catch the error and it doesn't ruin your code. So first thing first, I'm gonna take the mongoose. If I put a dot, there are a bunch of stuff here. We don't care about most of all of them. And there is a connect. That's a function that, like, it's a default connection to MongoDB. So it's gonna connect to the MongoDB. This thing, you can see it tells you that the function receives a URI or our URL connection string, that one that we created and put it into the .env. And you can see it's returning a promise. What does that mean? It's returning a promise. When a function returning a promise, what does it mean and how can you handle a promise? Who can tell? Come on, guys. Please.
It's asynchronous?
Yes, it is. What does that mean?
It means the program is executed instead of being blocked, so to say.
Exactly. Do you know any other function that that returns a promise? Yes, exactly. We need to use await, definitely. As soon as you see a function returning promise, you need to use async and await always. Okay. Is there any function that you know that it returns promise? A function that you used a lot, I think.
Maybe fetch?
Exactly. That's it. The fetch request. I'm gonna make a request to https://github.com. www.github.com. If I run this, what do I get? And I want you to tell me what is happening. And then I'm going to explain the await and async, like what is happening behind the scene. When I run this, I want you to tell me what is this error, so to say. Let me go to Google. That will be much better, I think. Oh. So, I'm going to make this request. What is this error? Have you seen it before?
Interesting.
Sorry? Tell me again, Killer.
No, I was just saying interesting.
Have you seen the course error somewhere?
I think I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is it, the course error? Why I get this? I'm going to test you something else. I'm going to request to Google now. And I don't get the request. I don't get the course error. And if I check the variable request now, it tells it's a promise. This is the variable that I saved there. Why when I request to Google, no course, and when I request to GitHub, it gives me the course? I want someone just answer me. You had this course, I think, someday. As a,
We know that the course is actually a security feature.
yes.
Always implementing the web browsers.
Yes.
So, So I think because you're trying to request something from a different origin or something.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to explain this because it's so important to know it. And then we go to then we go to the fetch and async stuff. As you saw, I was in the website google.com. I'm inside of the google.com. And then I was trying to make a request to GitHub. So here in the Google, I'm trying to make a request to github.com. And here is the GitHub server and someone from google.com trying to make the request. All right? Someone trying to say, hey, github.com, can you give me some information? I don't know what is github.com gives us back. It should be a HTML maybe or whatever, but we don't care. Definitely there should be a response. That response, how does it go and how the GitHub is gonna block the request and say, no, I don't give you anything. So behind the scene, the browser, before makes your request, like get request to fetch a get request to Google, to github.com, before this real request goes, very sneaky behind the scene, makes another request before your request. It goes to the GitHub server, says, hey GitHub server, someone in the google.com, someone in the jayshack.com, someone in, I don't know, whatever is.com, is making requests to github.com to get you some info from you. Do you allow this? And the GitHub says, oh, I don't know google.com, I don't know jays.com, who is the guy, I don't allow them even to make requests to me, block them. That means then this request goes back and says, sorry, I don't make this request because the GitHub server said, I don't allow you to do that. If you want the GitHub to let you do that, you should be exactly in the GitHub website, which means, let's say someone is here in the GitHub, and then from here, I want to make the same request. And you can see, oh, I didn't expect that. Failed to fetch used to connect to violate document security. All right. Seems the GitHub also doesn't allow that you do the fetch request here because of the some security. But let's go to another website. It was a bad example. Let's go to Amazon. And in this website, I'm gonna make the request to Amazon. And you can see, Amazon is perfectly fine. It answered me, it says this page doesn't exist. It doesn't give you a course policy. The request went successfully and received an answer from the Amazon that said this page doesn't exist. You can see promise fulfilled. No error. But if someone from the Google or from the ASUS, let's say, here, try to make the request to Amazon to get some information from Amazon, go back to console, it gives the course policy. Says, no, not allowed. How it happens behind the scene, as I said, very sneaky, behind the scene. There will be a pre-flight, look at the, I'm going to do it again that you see. I'm going to do this and then network. Oh, I expected that it gives us, it always gives us a pre-flight. Sometimes it shows it, sometimes it's not. If you check into the methods when the request goes, this is your request, get, for getting Amazon. Before this, browser makes a pre-flight method. Here is going to written like pre-flight method. And it's going to make the request. This pre-flight method goes to the Amazon and says, someone is trying, hey Amazon, someone is trying to make a request from the ASUS to get the page amazon.com. Do you give it? And the Amazon says, no, it's not from my origin. I don't know them. Block them. That's why this is happening. All right. Okay. This is the first thing, the course. But why it's a promise? Like why fetch request is a promise? Why we need to use await for waiting for that? Yeah, we know it's async. It's like we have to, I don't know, it doesn't block the page. We have to wait. But the real reason, the logical reason is that when you make a request somewhere, let's say this is Amazon and you make the request to Amazon to get products. That's how the web application works. The Amazon first checks, the pre-flight goes there, someone from Amazon making the request to get the products. Do you allow that? It says it's the same origin, allow that, it's fine. This is the first step. The next step is the backend. When it receives the get products, it's gonna get the products and responds back and send the products back. All right? This go to make a request. And then some operation going to the database, finding all the products and sending back. All of these operations takes time. Let's say it takes time between milliseconds. It depends on the internet speed. It depends on the server speed or whatever. But it can take time between couple of seconds to bunch of seconds. This taking time, we need to say await. That's why the fetch request, the fetch function means wait. Wait till its operation is done, and then when it's done, give me the answer, whatever it is. If you don't use wait, because this is talking to your code, await means, hey, I'm waiting here. You can do other bunch of stuff in my code, console log hi or whatever you have in your code. Go further, it doesn't matter. But here, take a look at here, put your eyes here. wait when the answer comes, and then do other stuff. Okay, come back to me. Okay, because if you don't use await here, your code just runs the fetch function and goes away. It goes there, and it's like forgetting this request. It says, okay, I did a request, I don't remember it, and goes. And it means like you never did a request, you didn't fulfill the request, so to say. The promise that I promise you, I give you a response a bit later, maybe it takes time. Then when you don't use await, it says like you ignore that. But when you use await, this means, all right, you promised me, I'm going to wait for your answer. Either it's an error or it's a good answer, anyway, response. I'm going to wait for that. That means we need to use async and await everywhere we see promises. Does that make sense, what I'm telling? Or I'm just talking? Is it clear what I'm telling? All right. So that's why we need await. And another function that is returning a promise, it's this connect from Mongoose. So this means, again, I need to use await. That means, hey, I'm waiting until you are connected. When you are connected, I can say, let's console log something that it shows us connected. Server, not server, DB, it's a database. It's just a message for us that we see it in the console. DB connected, right? But what happens if this one responds back an error? When the error happens, because we are using try and catch, that's the powerful tool that if there is no good response, like a 200 successful connected, whatever it is out of that, it's gonna catch the error. And the error comes here. For now, I just want to console log the error. And when you are console logging any error, please only console log the message of that error, because we want to see only the message. Every good error in the programming, in the web development, whoever is a web developer, they put a message inside. So we can say message. So every error has a message inside. I want to see what is the message of error, what happened actually. And there is something wrong here. It's just complaining about await. Why? Async, Jakob. Where should I put the async? Yes. My function is this one. This is a function. Parentheses arrow, it's a function. So my function want to be async. Fantastic. So this means that my function is ready, but still is not complete. The connect receives a connection state. It needs to know, where should I connect? What is the link? What is the link of my database? This is inside of .env. This one. Before doing anything, I need to get access to this one from the .env. How can I do that? How can I access to that? Process.env. Fantastic. We know that we can access in backend, we can access to the .env file with process.env. This gives me the .env file, whatever I have, and then inside of it, there is a db underline URI. This is the one exactly I defined here. All right, let's test it. I need to export this. Let me export it here exactly. Export, because I need to import it. I need to import it in my server.js. That's my server.js. Let me put it next to each other. Because the main core of my backend, it's always server.js. Whatever I create at the end is just gonna be, not all of them, but everything should be imported here to run it. Import connect db function, this one, which is inside of utils, connected to JS. I just need to call the function. That's a function I imported, and let's call it. So as soon as my server is running, I want to call the function. That's it. So let's save, let's run, and we should either be able to connect to the database or we receive an error. Let's see. Great. We were successfully running our server. You can see server is running the localhost, but that's an error message that is coming from here. It threw us an error. The message of that error, we catch the error and we console log the error. The console log in the error says the URI parameter blah, 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 must be a string got undefined. This means this is undefined. It's like kind of not able to read the .env. I'm gonna try to console log it even. Console log process .env .db URI. So console log is your friend for debugging. When I save, you see that it's undefined. So it kind of, I cannot access to the .env file. It's just not readable. Who can say how can we solve this issue? Because in the front end, when you were working with React, it was easy to get access to the .env in the front end. But in the back end, to access to process.env is different. So we need to do something to be able to read the .env. Is there anyone that know it already? We need a package for that. Yes. Yeah, cool. Thank you. npm install .env. That's exactly the name of the package. .env. Let's go to npm and find out how to use actually this .env. .env npm. Yeah. This is the one that we just installed, and if you check, it's very even more here. The end here. 50 million download per week. It's hugely used. It's highly used. Actually, every developer in the world, I think 50 million developers in the world, they are weekly downloading that. And it's just npm i.env, you install that. And how to use it is pretty easy. It's telling that if you import it in this way, then it works. That's it. You don't need to do anything. You can see require it's for common.js, the old times. Yeah, the old school times to import something. I showed you require. It's dead. You want to use this import tag. So if we do this, I think it enables the entire file to read .env. Let's see. So I'm going to put this here in my server.js to import .env/config. All right. After this, I think it should be readable for us, the .env. Let's start. Wow, yes. You can see now my connection string is in the console log and it says DB connected. I was successfully connected. I didn't know about you. Were you able to connect? Great, Jakob is connected. How about others? Isam, are you there?
I'm working on it. Yeah, it says DB connected. Yes.
Yeah, great. How about Shinedu says no. Do you get error?
Yeah.
Let's see, what is the error? Share your screen. And then after that, when everyone is connected, we can go to lunch. You can have a break. So let me see.
What do I have to do? Because I did node watch server.js.
Yeah. First of all, let's read the error. You have an error import ConnectDB from this, and it says the request module does not provide an export named. What does that mean, guys?
There is no export in connectdb.js.
Let's go. There is no export.
Oh,
Great.
default.
You can put it default and then the name of connect, yeah. But still you will get the same error. Okay, who can say why? I want you to think about it.
It's probably a named export in service.js.
Exactly. Because when you are exporting something default, then when you're importing that, you shouldn't put these curly braces when you import that. In the top server.js, if you go, you see that curly braces, then you don't put it. Now you need to call this function. Call it at the very top after like after express. Always your app express is in the very top, and then the rest of it, whatever you do, comes after it. You don't need any variable. You just can call the function that you imported. Just you say ConnectDB and then parentheses for calling that function. No, how do you call a function? You write a function, you want to call the function. How do you do that?
Actual code.
No, delete that. You don't need to pass anything inside. Yes, calling the function, yeah, exactly, that's correct. Calling a function means you put the name of the function in parentheses, so it runs the function actually. And let's see what you get as a error. So guys, there is an error. Queries not found MongoDB TCP blah blah blah. It's an error. It's not connected. If someone gets the same error, it has nothing to do with your code. We can solve that. Can you go first to your ConnectDB function? I want to see if everything is fine. Can you console log? Okay, the console log, yeah, I see it. You have the MongoDB of URL. Everything is fine. The problem is coming from your settings of router from the Wi-Fi, and we need to solve that. You need to go to the MongoDB website again where you created this link. If everyone has the same error, So because some router in our home, they have protection, they don't allow like something to be connected to that, like something like MongoDB. We need to solve this issue. In the left side, you have a network access. Do you see the left side?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the one above, database access. In the left side again, database access.
Come again?
Database access, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, this one. So this is for your password that you want to edit. We don't need that. Go back to the network access. Sorry for that. Can you click on the edit? Yes. Do you see this port, guys? This is the port of the router of Shineru. And it doesn't somehow allow that. We want to allow access from anywhere because MongoDB doesn't allow this port to be connected. We want to say MongoDB, hey, let anyone to connect to this database. And to do that, you need to make this, can you click on the allow access from anywhere?
Come again?
Allow access from anywhere. There is a button on top.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If you click on this, it automatically make it to 0. So 0, 0, 0. This means allow anyone to be connected to this. If they have password and username of that link, they can connect to. Click on confirm. Let's wait. This is pending. Let's wait till it's active again. Hopefully this was the issue and it's going to connect to your database. Pending. All right, let's give it a try and let's see if it's getting connected. Let's go back to your code and try to run again. No. Let me see your code again. No, the connect DB, yes. So mongoose.connect process.env.db URI. Process.db URI. So strange. Can you run it with the normal node, your server? Just stop it and type node server.js. Let's test this. No, it gives you the same. Do something else. Do you have a line 10 error.message? Console log the entire error. Like remove the message. I want to see the entire error. Yeah. Save and let's run it again. Hostname MongoDB. I think it's your settings of, I think you are connected to the local one and it's overwritten with that. We need to ask a ChatGPT for solving this. I don't know the command. Can you give me this error, or can you put this error, can you share the ChatGPT if you have, and share this error and let's see what it says. Just copy and paste this one to the ChatGPT.
You mean the error?
Yeah, Do you have ChatGPT yourself? If you do it yourself, yeah, that we can see it how it works. Great. Let's see. This part is wrong. You have wait. Yes. The problem is your password. The password that you chose, there is an @ inside. Do you see? You have to change your password that there is no @ inside of that. So database access, down, down, down. Yeah, this one. Click on edit and edit password. Down, 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 down. There is a button. No, up, up. Edit password. Yeah. Give it a new password without any this @ thingy. You can write your own password if you want.
Okay.
You can copy that because you need that now. Update user. Fantastic. It's taking usually a bit of minute time. Now go back to your .env and replace the password with the previous one. Yes. Great. Save and run it. Let's see. Fantastic. Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So hopefully everyone is connected. I consider everyone is connected. If not, just let us know. Osama, how is it going?
Everything is okay.
Everything is fine. All right, let's be back in 1 hour at exactly 13:10. We're going to continue this reviewing stuff. I'm not going to give you a lot of difficult stuff, but just as a review so far, because we need to continue this from tomorrow. We continue from the same file. Yeah, okay, so yeah, have a rest. And let's be back at, should I stop the recording? Yeah, let me stop. Let's be back in 1 hour. Have a good lunch.